Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to another episode of Jash Reads. Today, we're going to continue reading Animorphs number 8, The Alien by K.A. Applegate. And I actually was able to not... Everything setting up wasn't so hectic this time, so we got a lot more stuffed animals in the background there if you... And, like right there. Yeah. I feel like I should have given that penguin there a coffee cup. That would have been so perfect. But there is always next time, and the time after that, and the time after that. So, let's get started. Yay! It is very difficult to be in human morph and remember that you are not one of them. That their pain is not your pain. It is hard to remain apart. Sometimes very hard. From the Earth Diary of Eximile Escorth Issel. That same evening, Prince Jay called a meeting in Cassie's barn. My first thought was that Tobias had told the others about my trip to the observatory. I did not know how much Tobias had figured out about the touching conversation the Yeerk spoke of, but he did know all about Eslin's plan to kill Vischer 3. Cassie's barn is also called the Wildlife Rehabilitation Clinic. She and her father use it to rescue wild animals who are injured or sick. There are always dozens of animals in cages. Skunks, foxes, raccoons, birds of all types. Many are bandaged. It's strange, the relationship humans have to the other animals on Earth. Some animals they seem to have an enormous amount of emotion for. Others they hate. I think it has to do with the thing called cuteness. But I've never understood the concept. And now I was sure I never would. I was not foolish enough to believe that I could take on Vischer 3 and survive. Maybe if I planned well and was lucky, I might get him. But I would never live to brag about it. Probably it was just as well. I had no future. Liram had forgiven me for breaking the law, but I could never be a warrior now, let alone a prince. There would never be another Alfangor. He would go down in history as a great hero. I would be remembered as the young, stupid, little brother who gave the humans the ability to morph. I had to morph into a human to go to the barn. There was always the chance that Cassie's father or mother might walk in. But I felt bad assuming the human body, as the human skin replaced my own fur and human eyes took over for my Andalite eyes. I kept remembering Liram talking about how he had been an advisor to the Hork-Bajir. Hork-Bajir had lost. The Yeerks had enslaved them. But Liram had been true to the laws and the customs. What if he hadn't? What if he had given the Hork-Bajir advanced technologies? What if he had taught the Hork-Bajir to build spaceships? Would the Hork-Bajir Could you still be a free people today? It wasn't for me to decide. I was just an artist. I would never be anything more. At least, if I destroyed Fisher 3, people would say he was a fool, but in the end, he died well. Somehow, that was not a great comfort. I found the others already waiting inside the barn. Prince Jake was sitting on a bale of hay. Marco leaned against a stall, standing with arms crossed. Cassie, as usual, kept busy, feeding an injured baby goose with an eyedropper. Rachel paced back and forth, her cool eyes narrowing as she noticed me. And Tobias perched in the rafters overhead. I met his intense, intimidating hawk's gaze, and I saw that from his talons there hung a strip of bloody cloth. I knew where it had come from, and now I knew the reason for this meeting. Hi, Axe, Prince Jake said. How's it going? I'm fine, I answered. I figured we should all get together, Prince Jake said wearily. He seemed to be averting his eyes from me. We need to think about what this thing with the controllers means. We saw the guy at the mall. Then there was Mr. Purdue. And in the paper this morning, there was a story about some guy, some business guy, who's in a meeting and freaks out. The paper made it seem like he just went nuts. I'm pretty sure he was another controller losing it. He looked at me. I said nothing. See, it's like this, Axe, Marco said suddenly. We're tired of you giving us a runaround. Tobias shows up and he's dragging around some bloody shirt. I ask him what it is, and he won't tell me. Why won't Tobias tell me? Simple. He must have promised someone he wouldn't. And who would that someone be? There was no point denying it. I made Tobias promise. Promise. It is my fault. So now you're not just keeping secrets from us, you're getting us to keep secrets from ourselves? Rachel yelled. You need to get something straight, Axe. We're not your little action figures here. We're not toy soldiers. This is our planet, and this is our fight. You don't control us just because you're some mighty Andalite. I am not trying to control anyone, I said. Yeah, right, Rachel snapped. The information all goes one way. We tell you everything. You tell us squat. Oh, you sound like you're being straight sometimes, but you never tell us anything useful. You said you knew the Yeerks would probably destroy any controller that went bad on them. Marco pressed. How did you know that? Has all this happened before on some other planet? Rachel took over. We show you our world. We take you in. You see our families. You read our books. You even go to our school. And then you keep secrets from us. I felt battered by their words. They were all true. But I had my orders. I had the laws of my people. We're inferior, aren't we? Marco said. That's it, right? We're not good enough. Backward little humans. We don't deserve to be treated like equals. That's not it, I said. Sure it is, Marco yelled. Sure it is. We're just some bunch of cavemen, aren't we? That's what we look like to you. Maybe I would have done better if I had been in my own body. My human body was awash in adrenaline. I was frustrated and afraid and guilty. I can't answer your questions, I yelled. I can't. You mean you won't? Marco yelled. Rachel's right. We're just pawns in the big game. It's Andalites versus Yerks in the big game, and we're what? The Towel Boys? Look, I have to follow the rules. Do you? Cassie asked. It was the first time she had spoken. Her voice was soft and reasonable. Did Alfangor follow the rules when he gave us the power to morph? I'm not Alfangor! I yelled. Can't you see that? I'm not some big hero. I'm just a young Andalite, alright? You want the truth? Here's some truth for you. I'm not a warrior. I'm an heiress, a trainee, a cadet, a nobody. Yeah, boo-hoo. Marco sneered. I'm not impressed. We don't want your sad story. We want the truth. What were you and Tobias doing? Why did you swear him to secrecy? What's going on? I can't tell you, I said softly. There's a law against giving aliens, I mean, any non-Andalite our technology. And part of that law is we can't explain why. Can't. Can't. I am sick of this from. Rachel started to raise her voice to me again, but Prince Jake stood up and took her arm. I saw him look at Cassie. Cassie nodded. I can almost understand the part about not giving us advanced technology, Prince Jake said. But why all the other secrets? Why can't you tell us other things, like how you knew what the Yerks would do? Okay, so you don't want to give us mega weapons or whatever. Fair enough. But to refuse even to tell us how we fit into this whole Yerk anti-war? I mean, what's that about? It's about keeping control of us, Marco said. It's about power, Rachel agreed. Cassie was looking at me strangely. No, she said. That's not it. It's not about control. It's about guilt, shame. That's it, isn't it? That's what you said the other night. You said every species carries some guilt. Guilt? Shame? Marco asked, looking at Cassie like she was foolish. But Cassie had found the truth. What did you guys do to be ashamed of? Prince Jake asked me. once we were kind when we should not have been kind. I answered. And that's all you're going to tell us? Prince Jake asked. I nodded, the way humans do. I can't accept that, Axe, Prince Jake said sadly. If you're with us, you have to be honest with us. Otherwise, I guess you'll have to be on your own. I hate to do that, but you can't be one of us and then lie to us. I understand, I said. You have been. Once again, I was feeling that strange choking in my throat. You've been very wonderful to me. I will always be grateful. Wonderful. Grateful. Full. The truth is, we would not have been together much longer anyway. I looked up at Tobias. Only he knew what I meant. Slowly, feeling as if my clumsy human legs were made of a heavy earth metal called concrete, I turned and walked away from my human friends. And there's that lovely, happy chapter of pure happiness and God, yeah, I started tearing up there. You know, when you act even crappily, you get into the mind of these characters, and sometimes those are not happy emotions to deal with. Oh yeah, but yes, this chapter was all about Axe making a very big decision. Looked up at Tobias. And that was, will he continue being loyal to the Andalites? Will he switch his loyalties fully to the Animorphs, or will he be all open with the Animorphs and still be an Andalite? What I like about Axe's story is that it's about going to a foreign place where you're the only one of, I would like to say species, but or race, but we don't live in that world yet. But like you're like the lone foreigner in like a foreign land, and you know trying to adjust. That I think the term is culture shock, where you go to a place with a totally different culture and your mind's still set in your old culture, and so it's a shock when you encounter a new one. And so he's having to deal with that. And he does very much like the Animorphs, not just because he knows they're Earth's final defense, but he likes them as a friend. He loves their culture, but at the end of the day, he's an Andalite, and he must make a decision as an Andalite, and that's his choice. And it's a very hard choice for him, but one he thinks is right. And also he thinks he's going to die, so he's like, that might have influenced him. Okay, for the question for this chapter, comment down below with your answer of, do you think the fact that Axe believes he's going to die helps him make his decision? I'm sorry, just noticed this thing is actually way more visible than I thought. I saw scary stories to tell in the dark, and they had the red spot, and so that's been creeping me out. I know there's no spider eggs there, but I never mind. But anyways, so please comment down below with the question with your answer to the question for this chapter, which is, since I got totally derailed by looking at this, do you think Axe think he's going to die affected his decision to be loyal to his Andalite culture instead of the Animorphs? Also, comment down below with anything else you think about this chapter. The good, the bad, and the ugly, because I just didn't realize it was so visible. So, comment down below. And remember, no major spoilers. I am hoping against hope that people new to the Animorphs series discover the Animorphs series by these videos. So there are a bunch of twists and turns in this series that need to be encountered for the first time without knowing what's going to happen. So remember that. Also, if you're on the YouTube, please like this video. If you're also tearing up and just want to give Axe a hug, he needs a hug and a bunch of cinnamon buns. Like, if in this moment, if Axe were real, would you buy him all the cinnamon rolls you could? Then like that. If you could double like a video, I would suggest doing that. And also remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel because I will be reading the entire Animorphs series. So you don't want to miss a thing. This is a great series. So, ta-da. And if you're watching on my blog, please choose, and watching on the desktop version of my blog, please choose the follow by email option, wherever that may be. So you will never miss out on anything I do. I just don't do these Jash reads. I do reviews, mini reviews. I will be seeing the sequel to 47 Meters Down after this video. So I'll have that little mini review up on my blog sometime after I finish seeing it. So yeah, and I actually do prefer these just one dramatic reading a day. It really relaxes me, and I might switch to this way, actually. I do actually really enjoy it. And don't know why I was doing that. Oh yeah, because I'm waving goodbye, because this video is now ending. And until next video, goodbye, and hope you have a great and safe weekend. And until next time, goodbye. And it's asking me, are you sure you want to end your stream? Actually, yeah, end it.